Your body has two systems of creating energy. The normal system, which is called aerobic, glycolysis I think it's called, is glycolysis and glycogenesis, one of those. And the other one, which is the other word, glycolysis or glycogenesis, I mix them up, is anaerobic. Now the healthy system that we're supposed to be using is the aerobic form. Aerobic means with air, with oxygen. Like aerobic exercise, when you breathe a lot, you get a lot of oxygen. When there's a lot of oxygen present, which requires alkaline biochemistry, your body uses that system to turn glucose into ATP. And it does that at a very, very high level of efficiency. You can convert glucose into ATP at about 32-to-1 efficiency, which means you can store 32 units of energy for every unit of glucose that you consume. And so because it's doing such an efficient job at that, you don't have to make as much, you don't need as much glucose or sugars in your body to have a big store of energy. Now, there's also the emergency version. When your body is very acidic, your body has a survival mechanism or a flight and flight mechanism that kicks in to create energy at the cellular level. Where's everybody going? Am I getting boring or too detailed? Anyway, give me feedback. I need to learn. The anaerobic form of energy production for emergency use only directly converts glucose into energy right at the cellular level. So you drink some sugar water or you drink some orange juice and you got energy. So you can run out of there and save your butt from the tiger. You know? So that conversion takes place at the level of 2 units of glucose to create, or 1 unit of glucose creates 2 units of energy. 1 to 2. Now the aerobic form is 1 to 32. So you create more energy than you need and you save it for later, and you don't need that much glucose, so you don't have a whole lot of sugar junk going on in your body. No diabetes, no hypoglycemia, none of that stuff. Very efficient. Now what happens to us is when we eat cooked food and we grow up on cooked food and processed foods and Big Macs and Coca-Colas, all our processes in our body have been converted to acidic based. Every single one for decades. You have, even if you eat a salad every single day, but you're eating a lot of cooked food with the salad, even brown rice, it's all acidic. You don't have enough fresh food in there to change that balance. So your body has permanently switched, because it knows that every day your body wakes up and knows that it needs to be anaerobic that day. It's permanently switched over to anaerobic metabolism, energy production, permanently. You're addicted to it. It can't change overnight because your body doesn't believe you. Oh, I just ate a salad. I'm going to be real kale. I'm going to be real alkaline now. No, you'll get a little bit alkaline in there, but it's not going to change the fundamental process that your body has now adapted to.
Why does it adapt to that?
Because you've been eating that way for 10, 20 to 30, 40, 50 years. Your body adapts. We are amazing machines. Anybody that's studied life on this planet, any scientist that studied life on this planet, believes in God because it's amazing. Einstein believed in God. The people that don't believe in God that claim to be scientists are usually pretty mediocre scientists, or not even scientists at all in some cases. So, because it's like amazing that it happens that way, because it doesn't have to. It really doesn't have to. Tomato juice could be water. The only reason it's tomato juice is because a blind faith, something at the quantum level, made it tomato juice. I had my chemistry teacher in high school was a brilliant field chemist, PhD in organic chemistry. He said, I don't know why that tomato juice isn't water. It just isn't. All we know is that it isn't. So, the body's ability to adapt and survive is one of the miracles of life. We can do the most horrendous. In fact, one of my proofs of the existence of God is that we haven't killed each other off already as a species. Even before the invention of nuclear bombs, we should have killed ourselves off when we still had clubs. You know, there's enough killing going on between tribes to leave nobody left. You know, the fact that we haven't killed ourselves off as a species is proof of the existence of God. Think about it. It's a semi-humorous thing just to make a point. One second. So, the survival mechanism of the body is its ability to adapt. One of the key, most important features of the body. We can adapt to the most horrendous environmental conditions, and we can eat garbage for 30 years before we get cancer. Some of us, depending on our genes, which are, by the way, chemically programmed by the quantum energies involved in the genes. DNA expression is controlled at the quantum level. Nobody ever knew that before. And it's photons that do it. Light. The DNA is light. So we really are light beings. It's just not even a cutesy little New Age idea. It's a fact. How we convert that into the way we live and survive on the planet and treat each other humanely and compassionately and lovingly, that's another issue. How to bring that light into this planet. It's like, you know, life is light, but we live 10,000 leagues under the sea. And the light, getting the light to get down there takes a bathysphere of some amazing strength and construction. That there's not a lot of them around the planet even now. There's like maybe a dozen bathyspheres that go down into the Marianas Trench worldwide because they're incredibly hard to build. And down there's no light at all. So, you know.
And how do those creatures that live in caves and are not exposed to any sunlight whatsoever,
it's one of the miracles of life is that people have adapted, beings have adapted to that level of existence. There are beings that live down in the Marianas Trench. You know? In hostile conditions that are like Mars. So we have this ability to adapt. And basically what the body has done is it's learned to use the emergency form, the flight or fight form of energy on a permanent basis. So you're always craving sugar. That's why we have to have constant carbs in our diet. Carbs may be potatoes. White potatoes are just like sugar. You might as well just eat sugar. Just get a packet of sugar and stick it in your mouth. Because it's the same thing as eating a white potato, because simple starches convert the sugar on what they call the glycemic index. Glycemic index, rather. Almost as fast as just pure sugar. It's the next after pure sugar on the glycemic index. So we eat those carbs, whether it's bread or pasta or pizza. How many people have pasta all the time? I was a vegetarian for 30 years before I became vegan and raw and all that. And I ate a lot of pasta. I thought it was fine, it's vegetarian. Right? Because I was still addicted to sugar. I was still running on a cooked food, acid-based, anaerobic, metabolic system. And I needed those sugars in my blood all the time. Now, when it's really bad is when people drink Coca-Cola all day long or have coffee all throughout the day. You know, 5 cups of coffee a day. You know, every time they eat a cooked meal, you know, right afterwards they have to have something with sugar and caffeine in it. So,
yeah, because
you know,
cooked food makes you tired.
Cooked food makes you tired because you don't have this energy stored up as ATP. You have it converted directly, almost 1-to-1, as you need it. So you always have to keep putting it in your mouth to keep getting it to your cells.